Tampa Bay comes to Kauffman Stadium boasting 2 division titles and a wild card berth over the last 4 years. The Royals welcome the Rays, hoping yesterday's offense was the start of something good. 4 home runs, 2 by Mike Moustakas. Will it continue tonight at the K? Rays and Royals next. It's a hot, humid evening at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, where tonight it's Game 1 between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak along with Rex Hudler. The Royals did show signs of life with their offense yesterday against St. Louis, and hopefully it will continue in this Game 1 against a very good pitching staff.
Boy, if they want to rebound from that ugly 3-game series of St. Louis, they're going to have to swing the bats. Get on the board early. Now, this is a very selective, very patient Rays offense. Carlos Pena, he's a good hitter. Now, he hit a home run yesterday to help them win a game, so he's got some pop, but he really is an on-base guy. Also, Zobrist, he's been probably one of their best players so far this year. Another high on-base percentage guy, plays right and second base. It'll be interesting to see how this young man does.
Alex Cobb will be the starting pitcher tonight.
Good stuff. He's got a really good split finger pitch. It's more like a changeup, but it has downward action. He's got a big breaking curveball and a good 2-seam sinker. Could be good.
The Royals' key, of course, will be their starting pitcher, Luke Hochevar, taking on the most patient offense in all of baseball in Tampa Bay. Lottery. When you play, students win. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. Joel and Monty will be with you next.
Luke Hochevar, back-to-back starts where he has gone at least 7 innings, maybe turning things around, including his last start, which was a shutout. Joel Goldberg, Royals. 7 innings, maybe turning things around, including his last start, which was a shutout. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery up at Rivals. Our Kia report. What's been the key lately for Luke?
Well, Joe, I think the real key for Luke has been simplification. He's really gotten back to his 3 core pitches. He's got a good 4-seam fastball, an over-the-top curveball, and a changeup. Now, one thing on Luke, he needs to stay away from the big inning. He really needs to pitch to contact. When he gets in those situations, allow his defense to work for him. I think it's a big key for Luke tonight.
It has worked for him the last 2 starts out. He is in search of his first home win of the year. Steve Biziak and Rex Hudler have the call next.
Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. We are ready to play baseball as Tampa Bay will head to home plate, and here's their lineup: Jennings, Pena, and Upton. Matsui, a star in Japan. He is at the end of his career but still has considerable power. Zobrist, Conrad, Rodriguez, Molina, and Elliott Johnson. On the mound, Luke Hochevar. He pitched extremely well in his last start, beating the Houston Astros.
He sure did, and that kind of mound presence that he had in Houston is exactly what Dave Island, first-year pitching coach of the Royals, would like to see. Go out and command the 3 pitches mainly. Don't mess with a little sinker or cutters or things. Just go right at these guys. Keep the ball down.
Moustakas takes care of Desmond Jennings for out number 1. Kansas City's Ford around the horn defense.
Okay, Betancourt's back in there at second base. Now, what he might lack range-wise, he's going to make up for with the bat. That's why they got him in there. He had a day off yesterday in that big heat, but Yuniesky Betancourt is going to get the most time until Chris Getz can get back. Originally, they signed Betancourt to play a couple days a week, but he's being forced in there, which is really not bad offensively. He's a pretty good hitter.
This is a guy that Joe Madden needs more from, Carlos Pena. His batting average is under 200, but I will say this: when he hits them, they matter. He was 1 for 9, Rex, in the doubleheader against Philadelphia yesterday. Struck out 5 times, had 1 hit. The 1 hit won Game 1 in the 8th inning, a 3-run home run.
Well, you know, he's a winning type player. He's a little bit limited as far as batting, you know, spraying the ball around. He's a dead pull hitter, pretty much a one-dimensional guy, but he will walk. He is second in the league in walks.
Tampa Bay swept a doubleheader from Philadelphia yesterday, winning game 1 3-2 on the home run by Pena. David Price won his 10th game of the year in that contest, and then they won 7-3, so they beat both Cole Hamels and Cliff Lee, two of the top pitchers in baseball. Joe Maddon's team comes in here with 40 wins and 32 losses.
Pena very selective. You know, you got to throw him strikes. 51 walks, I mentioned.
Only Adam Dunn has walked more, 58 times for the Chicago White Sox.
Hochevar at Houston, even though he looked really good, he did walk 4. That was a season high for him. And like Montgomery said very well, he's got to stay away from big innings.
A walk to Pena. How patient, what a great eye. And Hochevar must now work with B.J. Upton, who does have considerable power. Even though he only has 5 home runs this year, he has as quick of a hands as any player in baseball.
A solid athlete. Improving every year offensively. Pitch selection. Knowing what pitches he can handle, which ones he can't.
He only has 5 home runs this year, but had 23 last year, including 81 RBIs. This team, they are second to last in the American League in batting, only hitting .234, yet they are 6th in runs scored, a little more than 4 per game, because they're such a patient team, leading the major leagues in walks with 273.
Well, it's also a team that's been decimated by injuries. 9 guys on their DL, including Evan Longoria. Now that won't hurt any Royals feelings, because Longoria, he accounted for some big numbers against the Royals last season. He had some 7 RBIs against him.
Base hit left field. Hot and humid day in the Midwest, and our time and temperature is brought to you by the parking spot. First pitch was at 7:10 and 89 degrees when the first pitch was tossed by Luke Hochevar.
Okay, the Rays are a .251 team so far with runners in scoring position. Matsui's hitting .231. He hasn't had a lot of action. He just got called up a week or so ago.
In Japan, he was called Godzilla. Tremendous power. 332 home runs in Japan. 175 more in the major leagues, but now at the twilight of his career, 38 years old.
Yep, just 65 at-bats on the young season. He's got a couple homers. He's pretty much of a pull hitter. Now, he will take a ball that's up and away on the outer half to the opposite field if you give it to him with 2 strikes, but he's mainly up there looking to yank one.
Moustakas has it. There's 1. There's 2. Luke Hochevar loves that as the Moose cuts down the Tampa Bay offense in the first. 364 over that 2-week stretch to raise his average to 264. Will lead off for Kansas City. Gordon, Betancourt, Moustakas, who punched 2 out of the yard yesterday. Then Butler, Francoeur, Hosmer, Perez, Dyson, and Escobar. On the hill for Tampa Bay, a 24-year-old right-hander from Vero Beach, Florida, Alex Cobb.
No, he's a very effective pitcher when he pounds that strike zone with the 2-seam fastball. Now that's a pitch he's going to use a lot of, and it moves in, especially against left-handers. Lefties are hitting 235 with 2 homers. Righties just 214 with no homers. A 227 average overall, so he's been pretty good. Defending, this team is last in the American League in errors. Spread it around. They've all had not the best years offensively. But Sean Rodriguez, he's been their swing guy. A guy that's been able to stay healthy. He's playing second base, but he's played shortstop. Played 19 games at third base. Sean Rodriguez is a very good athlete, and he's got a good glove.
Versatile, has played second, short, and third this season, and can even play the outfield. They have a lot of those versatile athletes, guys like Ben Zobrist, Sean Rodriguez. Here's the first pitch by Alex Cobb to Alex Gordon, who's been walking a lot lately. And you know, 5 times in one St. Louis game.
Yeah, no, he's really feeling good, Alex is.
That drops between the right fielder and the center fielder, and Gordon has himself a double. And for Alex, that is his 22nd this year, tied for 3rd in the American League.
Looks like the outfield didn't want to take charge on this one. Upton has priority in center field. Looked like he wasn't going after it right away. Zobrist took a peek over, and by that time it was too late. So good for the Royals. They, after falling behind in each and every one of the last 3 games, they need to come out and see what they can do to get on board first. Reason that Cobb has such a good average against righties is he's got a very good changeup. Now, it's more like a split finger. It has that dipping, diving type action to it. Keeps a lot of right-handers off balance. He's got a big curveball, so righties haven't done so well.
Yuniesky Betancourt missed 26 games earlier this year because of a left ankle sprain. And he punches that one towards right field. It will do the job getting Gordon to third base. Yuniesky almost got a base hit and drove Gordon home.
Yeah, but great idea on the first pitch. Good, well-struck ball. Now, Sean Rodriguez made a nice stop, but he almost woofed the throw. Woofed it, whiffed it, whatever you want to say. He short hopped it. Pena picked him up there.
So Alex dirty already.
Yeah, Joe Madden has got his infielders in the first inning.
Here comes Mike Moustakas, who had his 4th 3-hit game this month. And he takes low and inside. Moustakas with a great at-bat his first time up. He is the diamond in our Toyota moving forward. Among American League third basemen, you can see where he ranks in home runs, slugging. There is a shot to right field. This will be off the glove of the right fielder Zobrist. Gordon will score easily, and Moustakas is into second base. So just where the sun is, Rex, I've got to think it's playing some problems in right field for Zobrist, the way he went after Gordon's fly ball and the way he went after this ball struck by Moustakas.
It is, but keep in mind the day and night doubleheader they played last night. Looks like they're a little sluggish. He'll tell you that he should have caught this ball. Didn't get a good break on it. The sunglasses are not on, so that's telling me it's not having that great effect. A good outfielder like Zobrist would have those glasses down on his face if it was the sun.
Moustakas is going. There's the throw, and Moose is safe.
Okay, Royals on the attack early. Moose got an extra lead at second base because they weren't thinking about him doing this. Jose Molina, very good catch and throw catcher, wasn't able to get the ball down on the base. That's the only way they'd have gotten Moose with a perfect throw. Good bag.
Now Butler will try and get him home, but the ball is knocked to the third baseman, and they'll throw out Butler. They were almost able to make the play at third base and tag Mike before he was able to scramble back to third. Jeff Francoeur steps in, batting fifth in the order today. He went 2 for 5 yesterday, and that snapped an 0 for 16 slide that he'd been in. Rex, you had just been talking about him pulling up his socks, and the next pitch he hit it out. So
now just a change of pace. You know,
exactly.
he's shown that before. He's come out with his high socks on. And really, no one knows Frenchie better than Frenchie. But I can tell you they're aggressive. They've been aggressive off Cobb so far in this first inning.
Good pitch, strike 2.
It's the change up. It's a long day at the ballpark, day and night doubleheaders, and that's what they were doing in Philly. Now at least they won both of them, and we talked about that. But still, that's wear and tear on your club.
You also talked about Joe Madden's defense. They've made 61 errors this year. They misplayed 2 balls in this first inning that have given the Royals a run. Zobrist is usually outstanding defensively, but not early in this one.
That ball by Gordon was well placed. I'm not necessarily saying it should have been caught, but I'm thinking that was Upton's ball. Left-handed hitter, maybe play him a little bit to the pole side, and Upton just took off to back up the play. He wasn't going for it.
2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the view of Ben Zobrist in right field, and that sun streaking towards him.
Yeah, the sun's coming in from that direction. It's not coming in from where the hitter's hitting the ball. And like I said, he would have had those glasses on if it was a problem. You can see the shadow. See where the shadow is? The shadow's going away from contact.
But don't you think that affected particularly Gordon's ball that was in right center?
I'm going to say that the wind did. The wind's swirling now, but when Gordon hit it, it's coming straight into right. It looked like it was hit further, and it deadened and dropped in between both, and that's why Upton was going towards the wall.
A chopper up the middle. Rodriguez will handle. Throw out Frenchie. The inning is over. The Royals do score a run on a couple of doubles. Fans, be a part of the All-Star action this summer in Kansas City by coming out to Taco Bell All-Star Sunday here at the ballpark on Sunday, July 8th for 2 exciting events and a spectacular fireworks show to end the evening. The Sirius XM All-Star Futures game features the next generation of Major League stars from the minor leagues, and come see Hall of Famers, Royals legends, and your favorite celebrities in the Taco Bell All-Star Legends and Celebrity Softball game. Tickets are available now at allstargame.com or by calling 1-888-FAN-FEST. Ben Zobrist, the batter. Luke Hochevar delivers a good curveball, and that was an outstanding pitch in Houston. His curveball was biting down 12-6 on the clock.
Well, that's what Dave Ireland likes to talk about, the fact that he's got 3 really solid pitches. Now, he's not throwing too many sliders anymore. He used to use all 4, but 3 core pitches. Stay with them. And he's taken the mound here in the 2nd inning with the lead, which is really important. The Royals are 25-11 when they score first.
Luke knows that Zobrist is another one of those patient Rays. He has walked 49 times this year, top 5 in that department. He goes after the 2-1 pitch and pops it up into shallow left, and Escobar will take care of him. The Royals came in with a record of 31-39, 6 games back of the Chicago White Sox. They were swept by St. Louis this weekend series, outscored by the red-hot Cardinals 30-14. Brooks Conrad, he was waived by Milwaukee, picked up by Tampa Bay, and he's done quite well in just 6 at-bats. He has 3 hits, including 2 doubles.
Talked about the fact that they don't have Evan Longoria. He's been on the DL since May 1st, has a hamstring problem, and he just had a setback in his rehab too, so who knows how long he's going to be out, and they really miss him.
Dyson calls off Gordon to make the catch for out number 2. And Rex, he's not the only power guy that has been disabled this year. Luke Scott has good power. Matt Joyce is also on the DL to go with Longoria.
Right, so there's the reason their offensive numbers aren't as good as they could be, is because they've been bitten by the bug. Now, but I want to go back to Longoria. The Rays are 15-8 before his injury, with him starting every game, and they're just 24-24 since then. And they've had 6 players play third base in his absence. And Luke Scott, he's on a rehab assignment now. Hit a big home run in one of their games yesterday at Durham, their AAA affiliate.
Well, speaking of power and rehab assignments, good news on a Royal. Lorenzo Cain, 5 at-bats today, including a home run, and they will promote him to Omaha, where he'll get more opportunities to play. Hopefully be back with the big club soon. Here is Sean Rodriguez. He takes a big rip. Another good breaking ball. Did he go? He did not, says first base umpire Larry Vanover. Todd Tickner's the home plate umpire. Vanover at first, Tony Randazzo at second, and Brian Runge at third, Rex.
Yeah, Sean takes a big swing. You mentioned it. He's got 47 strikeouts and 215 ABs. A little bit much for a second baseman. He's got some pop, though.
Hochevar gets his first strikeout and cuts through the Rays 1-2-3. Sullivan Center, Food Relief and Jobs. That is Norbert Duello. After retirement from the Federal Aviation Administration 15 years ago, Norbert has volunteered weekly at the Bishop Sullivan Center Food Pantry. Additionally, he participates in their Christmas family adoption program, St. James Soup Kitchen, and grills for the annual client and volunteer dinner at St. James Place. Norbert, a Kansas City, Missouri resident, also delivers meals for the Northland Meals on Wheels program and has provided transportation for nearly 130 elderly clients of the Shepherd Center of the Northland. And he is sitting in the Buck O'Neill Legacy seat. Here we go. Alex Cobb on the hill to face Eric Hosmer, Salvi Perez, and Gerard Dyson. Eric taking some extra time with Kevin Seitzer yesterday underneath the stadium, and he took yesterday off out of the lineup, came out early with Kevin again at 3 o'clock this afternoon. What's his strategy, Hud?
He's working on using the opposite field and not jumping at the ball, using his soft step with that right foot. Just very lightly on it. Don't even stride with it.
Pulls it to second base. Rodriguez there. And Eric is out number 1. Every Wednesday is Ink Student Night and Local Music Showcase. Show your valid student ID at the box office to get a $7 ticket. Make sure to get here early for live local music and drink specials in the outfield experience before the game. Go to Royals.com/student night for more information. It's a blast here at the K. And on a hot summer night, why not come out to the ballpark? Enjoy it with your friends. Here is Salvi Perez. Great to see him back and healthy again. Salvi got his first start of the year on Friday and belted a home run. Pulls this one to third. Brooks Conrad throws him out. Well, you said we'll see a lot of ground balls from Alex Cobb. That's 4 straight outs recorded on ground ball outs by Mr. Cobb.
Yep, gets him with his 2-seam sinking fastball. Plus, you know, he's got that changeup that moves down in a split finger fashion where it kind of drops down low, so a lot of hitters top that into the ground.
Here's a guy who hits it on the ground, and when he does, he's tough to throw out. He has 45 hits this year. 15 are infield hits.
Yeah, so a sinker baller is really right up Dyson's alley.
Pitchers have really adjusted to Gerard Dyson, Rex, because he was extremely patient at the beginning of the season. Then all of a sudden they started attacking him early in the count.
Well, he's a young hitter, and then sometimes you try to do too much and you swing at pitches you shouldn't swing at, and it's a highly scouted game by advanced scouts, teams that come in next. So if you're aggressive and you're swinging out of the strike zone, they're not going to throw you any strikes the next team that comes in either.
Conrad. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals in the second inning. Number 3 we go. KC up 1-0.
There, Jose Molina and Salvador Perez. I talked to Salvi this afternoon. He said the knee feels unbelievable. Said just a little tight after the day game on Saturday, but no pain. He felt nothing at all otherwise. And I said, it looks like you're getting down the line a little bit quickly, too. He said, I feel faster. He said, not like Dyson, but for my position, I feel fast, feel great, and ready for a win. And look at this tonight. He goes up against Tampa Bay. He made his Major League debut, guys, last year in St. Petersburg, and that debut was memorable when he picked off 2 Tampa Bay Rays in the game, nearly 3.
Ground ball, Unieski Betancourt. Jose Molina is the first out of the 3rd inning. Get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. Alex Cobb, top velocity 91 miles an hour. Hochevar's already hit 95. Hochevar working with Salvi Perez. That is your Royal battery. And Ned Yost will be very patient with Salvi in his comeback. He will give him tomorrow off. Play him again on Wednesday in the day game. Final game of this series. That's a base hit. Elliott Johnson picks up the 2nd hit for Tampa Bay.
Hoch jammed him a little bit, but he had a good level swing. Nothing you can do on that one.
Back to the top of the order, and Desmond Jennings. He's the 25-year-old young outfielder from Birmingham, Alabama. Runner goes, pitch taken, throw by Salvi, not in time. A steal for Elliott Johnson.
Rays are 3rd in stolen bases this year with 56. Good jump, good takeoff.
Tampa Bay as a man in scoring position. They did in the 1st inning with runners on 1st and 2nd and just 1 out. But Matsui hit into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. Now the batter Jennings, who struggled lately since coming off the disabled list, batting just 194. He grounded out to 3rd his first time up. He's on the DL because of a left knee problem.
Yeah, but he's got some good speed. He's a very good athlete. Betancourt's given up a little ground. It's 2nd to hold Elliott Johnson close.
To right field, Francoeur setting up for the throw. No advance by Elliott Johnson. This was a situation that St. Louis wore out Kansas City pitching.
Well, we're seeing a much different offense. The Cardinal offense, not at full strength without Berkman in there, were dangerous in almost every slot. They had guys that could hit and they could turn the ball around. We talked about how many guys this Rays team have out of their lineup, and this is not as big a home run threat as the Cardinals. So there's a few guys that Hochevar is going right after, throwing that 4-seamer in there.
The Cardinals were an incredible 21 for 39 with men in scoring position. 538 batting average. Now Pena, one of their guys who is an everyday player and a guy who's clubbed as many as 40 home runs in his past.
Look at Betancourt. He's playing shallow right field. Out there with that little triangle defense. And Pena's pretty much a pull hitter. Escobar's on the second base side as a shortstop. Pena just hitting 153 with runners in scoring position. hasn't been a huge threat as far as that goes. But the Royals are a lot happier that Cardinals left town, believe me. There's a few guys in this lineup that can hurt you, but not 5 or 6 like they had.
He has a good eye. Walked his first time up. Now 52 walks this year. We told you of his considerable power. 46 home runs he hit for Tampa Bay back in 2007. 39 more in 2009. Played last year for the Cubs and belted 28. And he takes a strike there. It's 2-1. It's almost like Rex, he is so disciplined where he says, I'm only going to swing at a pitch in a certain zone, a certain area where I'm looking.
Yeah, and he's always been a selective hitter, but more so even now. He realizes that they really need his home run ability. And so he swings at it when he thinks it's there. Good location on that one.
Meantime, Johnson broke for third and stole third base. The count moves to 2-2 on Carlos Pena.
Now Royals are giving it to him. Two outs. Pena does strike out. He's second in the league with 90 punch outs, so they're counting on Luke to get him out here.
Foul. Let's go back to yesterday, game 1. The Rays were trailing. Pena had struggled at the plate all day long and then came up in the 8th.
Okay, there it was though. Belt high fastball. Right out over, and he connected. And that launching pad in Philly, you can hit some easy homers there.
That 3-run shot won the game 3-2. They won the nightcap 7-3, beating Cliff Lee. Count is full, 3-2.
Hochevar going from the stretch with Moustakas playing shortstop. Really, Elliott Johnson could get a huge lead and almost try to steal home.
In the air, center field. Easy play for Gerard Dyson. He makes the catch. The inning is over. Tampa Bay threatens but does not score. 1-0 KC. Blue Crew by U.S. Toy to be part of the fun all year long. Members receive a batting practice jersey, a backpack, water bottle, ticket vouchers, front of the line access for every Sunday fun run, and much more. Membership is just $20. Join now at royals.com/Blue Crew or by going to the U.S. Toy Store in Leawood, Kansas. She needs more cotton candy. Alex Cobb will begin his third inning work. Gave up a run in the first inning on doubles by Gordon and Moustakas. Now Escobar, the number 9 hitter, will lead things off in the bottom half of number 3.
Hey, Escobar, a good bunter. Good guy to bunt off of. 2 seam sinkers. Everything's moving down. His changeup, his curveball. We might see one tonight.
And that's exactly what he did last start against Kansas City on July 24th last year. There's the bunt try, Rex. An infield hit for Escobar.
It's exactly what you want to do. He's a very good bunter. He can push the ball to first base or bunt down third. With a right-hander, typically going to come in and bunt it down the third baseline. And Conrad, he looked a little surprised. He took that first hard bounce off of the dirt. And you have to be perfect to get him out. Great technique. Barrel above the hands. He reaches out. He deadened it, got on top of the ball. And it's off to the races.
Now Alex Gordon. That base hit raised Alcides Escobar's average over 300. He was at 299 to start the game with a home run and 19 RBIs. His excellent speed, 12 steals. Jose Molina is a terrific catch and throw guy, working with Alex Cobb tonight.
Yeah, we just saw Yadier Molina, Jose's younger brother. And then the very next game, there's his brother sitting right there, Jose.
Their mom and dad had done an outstanding job. Benji Molina, Jose Molina, Yadier Molina, 3 catchers who won world championships, and I've been friends with Jose for a long time. And when he was with the New York Yankees, his father had just passed 6 months prior in the fall, and he had a picture in his locker in the Yankee Stadium clubhouse, picture of his dad and the 3 sons that was painted for them, and he said, you know, that brings back so many wonderful memories, because our house was opposite a Little League field, and our dad had us out there every single day, and to have 1 son make it to the major leagues is awesome. 3 is unbelievable. I don't have a word for all 3 winning world championships.
No, it'll never happen again.
And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Alex Gordon can sting the Rays. That's what they're hoping for, as Alex has scored the only run of the game. And that's a base hit to left field. So Gordon keeps up his hot hitting, 2 for 2 in this one, and that batting average climbing ever so closer to 270.
Well, you know, he's not trying to pull everything and hit a big home run. He's very comfortable in that leadoff spot. When you're leading off, you tell yourself, I'm there to be selective to get on base with a walk or a knock, so I can get things going for my team. And so when you have that mindset, you're not going to be swinging for the home runs like he was when he was hitting down in the order.
Rex, because this guy is such an extreme ground ball pitcher, would you put something on here, whether it's a hit and run or a double steal or a sacrifice?
No, not with nobody out, no, because Molina, he could swing and miss, and Molina would throw out a runner there at third base. He's such a good catch and throw guy. I'm going to go ahead and trust my offense here.
All right.
That's just me. And we haven't seen Ned do too many hit and runs with nobody out in a situation like this early in the ball game, but not a bad idea with the right guys up there.
Cobb is 3-1 groundouts to flyouts this year, and that ratio would lead the major leagues if he had enough innings. He's only pitched in 6 games. This is his 7th after being called up from the minor leagues, where he was 1-4 in 8 starts. Recalled May 19th, replaced the injured Jeff Neiman. Ball gets away, kicked by the catcher. The runners advance.
Well, that was home plate umpire that kicked that ball away. So, you know, they'll take it. It's a break. Nobody out. Todd Tickner, the home plate umpire, didn't see it, didn't mean to do it, tried to get out of the way, and just heel kicked it to move the runners over. So give Todd Tickner a sacrifice on that one.
You bet. Now the count is 3-1. He tried to test Betancourt up in the zone, but Unieski patient.
No, and Cobb looked like he showed a little bit of emotion after that pitch. A little upset. Moustakas is on deck. And Royals want to capitalize. They need more than one.
That's up the middle. That will find center field. Escobar comes home. Here comes Gordon. 3-0 Royals.
That's what Ned Yost is talking about. Uni's staying up the middle. Pitch was right down the middle. So he stayed up there with a lot of topspin on it. And he's able to pick up 2 ribbies and 2 with 1 swing. Nice piece of hit.
Jim Hickey comes out to visit with his pitcher Alex Cobb after Betancourt got the key base hit to put KC up 3-0. This is a team that's really been challenged lately because of the injuries that Rex has talked about. The Rays have held their opponents to a .205 batting average, but they're only hitting .225 themselves. That's on this trip. And Rex, you mentioned something. He was visibly angry when the umpire kicked the ball, allowing the runners to advance. That affected his at-bat with Betancourt. Now you've got to wonder if it's still in the back of his mind, and maybe he'll make a mistake to the Moose. Mike belted 2 yesterday. First multi-home run game.
It's possible. You don't see a lot of pitchers, especially early in the game, losing their composure a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that Cobb lost his composure. However, being a body language expert like I am, and most hitters are.
Vance, he got an A+ in body language in 8th grade.
Yes, you can sense that. And sometimes it works against you unless you can get right back in there and keep your focus. Betancourt, he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay right there and see if Moose can find a gapper.
One ball, 1 strike.
Moose, has really picked it up, Fizz. I don't know if you mentioned or not, you might have in the last 8 games hit .382 with 3 homers, 7 ribbies. He's getting hot. He's having a good month of June. He's comfortable. He's getting hits to the other side over there, center and left field. He's not just pulling everything, although his power is pretty much pull.
One of the things that management has to love with Mike Moustakas is his ability to learn and grow and continue to compete. Last year, Rex, he played in 89 games and had 5 home runs and 30 RBIs. This year, in 23 fewer games, 66, he has 12 home runs and 37 RBIs.
Well, he's more confident, and you can see it this year. He's gaining more confidence game by game, especially defensively.
Tries to flare one to left field. Shortstop goes out, and Johnson makes the catch. Betancourt back to first base. So a quality pitch by Alex Cobb to get Moustakas out. Now he'll deal with Billy Butler. Billy had a golden opportunity for his 45th RBI with a runner at third base, but he hit one sharply right where the third baseman was standing, and Butler was out. Runner had to hold at third. Billy had a 2-run home run in the 9th inning. He has 14 home runs this year. The quickest of 14 he's been in the past was August 8th. So way ahead of schedule. Still a very young hitter at the age of 26. Trying to get Betancourt home from first base. Base hit.
Okay, well, Billy Butler is a much stronger guy, lower body. He's worked out his lower body for the first time really heavily, and that's what generates your power, your lower half. He's always been a good, solid doubles, gap-to-gap type hitter, but he's starting to hit with more power because he worked at it. He worked on his lower half. Strength and conditioning coach Ryan Stoneberg has had a good effect on Billy Butler and a lot of these Royals players with their conditioning programs and getting stronger.
Jeff Francoeur fooled on that first pitch. Cobb had faced the Royals only one time in the past, including Jeff Francoeur, and he shut them out for 7 innings. That'll drop. Betancourt's coming home. Throw to third. Butler is out. Great throw by Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, and a pretty good effort there by Billy Butler. I mean, you know, when he kept going to third base, and I know Zobrist has a good throwing arm, I thought, well, you know, it might be close over there at third base, but it was a good effort. He caught the ball. It was very shallow in right field and put a really nice throw. Now, if it wasn't a perfect throw, he might have been safe. So it wasn't a bad attempt there.
Good read by Betancourt, who was running all the way and following the instructions of his third base coach, Eddie Rodriguez. This will bring to the plate Eric Hosmer, who takes strike one. Haas grounded out to second base, his first time up.
Now here's a young man that could use some confidence.
That'll help. Frenchie comes home. 5-0 KC.
That's exactly what will build his confidence. Key hits, clutch hits with runners in scoring position. He sees himself as an RBI run producer. He is. Just has had a tough start to the season this year by hitting a lot of atom balls. But that one found a hole. Give him his 34th ribby. 7 hits in the inning.
Hosmer's going. Throw by Molina. Nope. Into center field, but not far enough to escape Johnson and allow Hosmer to make it to third. But Eric has his 7th stolen base this year, and he stole that one on Alex Cobb. I mean, he had a great jump.
Sure did. And this is what you do. Pedal to the metal. You got 5, you want more. It's early in the game at American League Park. There's no such thing as a big lead. Go ahead and get all you can. Well, there hasn't been such thing as a big lead for the Royals here at the K this year.
Yeah, we saw some good signs yesterday, Rex. And I know the Cardinals had the big lead, but just the way the Royals came back twice in that game to tie it up. I mean, their starting pitching was not strong at all that entire series. 3 starting pitchers that KC ran out there gave up 17 runs in 11 in the 3rd inning, so it's constant pressure on the offense. Well, they came back yesterday and they hit 4 home runs. They scored 8 times, and it seems to have carried over against a pretty good pitching staff in Tampa Bay.
Well, Joe Madden was certainly hoping that his guy Cobb could at least go 5-6 innings, because after playing 2 games, they have a depleted bullpen. And the fact that they have Joel Peralta on the suspended list, they only have 24 guys on the team, so that they're minus a guy.
He went with Johnny Allstaff yesterday. Joe Madden said, I had to go with my bullpen for 2 1/3, 2 1/3, and 2 1/3. And here's a base hit to left. Hosmer's going to come around. Here's the throw home, cut off. They've got Salvi and caught in a rundown, and they will tag him out. But still, the Royals with a big inning.
That's okay. Good piece of hit.
I love that smile.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nice inning.
More because I'm not sure Salvi Perez was tagged out at first base.
Well, typically when the ball beats you like that, you can see Larry Vanover getting in good position, but didn't really look like it. He touched him, but excellent effort by Cobb to get over there and cover a vacant first base. And Salvi, man, he's feeling so good. He want to hit a double on that one. He just want to keep going.
Still, the Royals scored 5 runs in the 3rd inning, and they have a 6-0 lead for Luke Hochevar. Big rip by B.J. Upton. He will do that. He has struck out 63 times this year. Had a base hit his first time up.
But you know what? When you give a starter that many runs early, I mean, No lead is really safe, but sure does take the pressure off of him. Doesn't have to really focus on making each pitch count, you know, with close games. And so he can get away with stuff. And he can go ahead and just use that four-seam fastball. It's a good one. Challenge guys.
And he's really looked good since really cutting off the cutter, backing off the two-seam fastball and the slider. He's allowed just 3 runs in his last 2 starts against Milwaukee and Houston. And Dave Island really wanted to refine his stuff, his 3 solid pitches. And Rex, it really happened before the Pittsburgh game. That's when Luke said, okay, I'll junk the other 2 pitches, but what I will do is I'll start attacking with the others. And he struggled his first 3 innings in Pittsburgh, and after that he shut out the Pirates and they slowed Milwaukee and Houston's offense.
Well, that two-seam fastball he just threw the pitch before that one was a beauty. Didn't get called for a strike, but that's a two-seamer. So, you know, he might come back and maybe mix in a little slider, a little cutter now that he's got a nice lead. But he's definitely more comfortable. You can tell by his body language.
Ooh. Barely missed inside. Luke carried a no-hitter into the 5th inning against Houston, scattering 5 hits and 4 walks over 7 2/3. Great breaking ball struck him out.
Okay, a little disappearing act. Now you see it, now you don't. That's a fooler right there, man. That starts out middle of the plate. Hitter looks at it, and by the time he commits to swing, it's down out of the strike zone. Perfect location.
Hideki Matsui hit into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play first time up. So he gets a first look curveball. Hideki hit 2 home runs, both of them his first 3 games, has none since in the next 16. Wind is blowing in. Hosmer will take it himself. 2 outs. The 3rd installment of T-Shirt Tuesday is tomorrow against the Tampa Bay Rays. The first 10,000 fans will receive a vintage powder blue Royals T-shirt presented by Farmland. Gates open at 5:30, so get here early. Go to Royals.com/T-Shirt Tuesday or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Fans, the kids are out of school. They want to come to the ballpark, watch some baseball. Looks like the Royals offense beginning to pick up after hitting 4 home runs yesterday, scoring 8 times despite a loss to St. Louis, and they've come out this evening with 6 runs on 9 hits against a team that beat Cole Hamels and Cliff Lee pitched Philadelphia Phillies yesterday.
I think the Cardinals would have beat anybody.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because they were due to break out. They lost 2 out of 3 in Detroit before they got here. They weren't hitting with runners in scoring position. No one was hitting, and then they got here and said, okay, it's time to go.
All 9 guys in that order were red hot. 30 runs by St. Louis in 3 games.
And keep in mind that all 3 pitchers that pitched against the Cardinals this weekend pitched last weekend against them. Now, the hitters made some adjustments on those 3 starters, and our starters weren't able to make the adjustments against them.
Base hit to right field. Zobrist is on for the first time. Here comes Brooks Conrad. We told you he started the year with the Milwaukee Brewers. We had a chance to see him during spring training. But when you go 3 for 40 and you're not an everyday player, all of a sudden your time with the team can be a little dangerous. And he was released, picked up by Tampa Bay, and has 3 hits in his first 7 at bats. Flied out to center field, his first time up tonight. Tampa Bay knows how to win. They came into tonight's play 3.5 games back at the New York Yankees for first in the American League East. There's a base hit to right field. So back-to-back singles by Zobrist and Conrad, and that will bring Sean Rodriguez up.
Okay, Luke is going after these guys towards the bottom part of the lineup here, and that's what you want to do. Make them earn your way. He's throwing strikes. He just walked one so far.
Rodriguez only hitting .219 coming into this game with 5 home runs. He struck out swinging as Hochevar really worked him with the curveball. And starts him off with the hook. Tampa Bay had that exciting finish last year, overtaking the Boston Red Sox to win the wild card. Evan Longoria with that dramatic home run. And this is a team that knows how to win. They are a very confident outfit. Salvi was thinking about throwing behind Conrad at first base, but did not.
No, they all know, like you mentioned in his debut against the Tampa Bay Rays last year, he picked off a couple in his major league debut, so they know he can handle the throwing.
Rodriguez to center field and deep. Dyson with that fine speed runs it down. The Rays come up empty in the 4th and lead 2 runners. By AT&T, the world's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at Kauffman Stadium. Kansas City has a 6-0 lead. Royals scored 1 in the first and dropped a 5 spot on Alex Cobb in inning number 3. Now to the bottom of the 4th we go, and Gerard Dyson will lead things off. Well, you talked about Escobar dropping a bunt right before he did that. Think Dyson's going to?
Why not? Pull one to the first baseman. Want to make Pena vacate first. Come get the ball and then beat him. Beat the pitcher to the base.
Both corners are in. A chopper to second. Rodriguez will throw out Dice. Royals fans, be sure to stop by and pick up your 4 for $44 deal at Taco Bell. This ticket package includes 4 Royals game tickets, 4 hats, and 4 Taco Bell combo meals, all for only $44. This deal is good for any Royals home game beginning June 28th. You can get your tickets at participating Taco Bell locations or by going to royals.com/Taco Bell. Fastball thrown by Cobb to Escobar. Strike 1. Ceedy started the trouble for Alex in that 3rd inning with the bunt base hit. That was followed by 6 more singles that inning. Singles by Gordon, Betancourt, Butler, Francoeur, Hosmer, and Perez. And it was all over. Kansas City had scored 5 times in the 3rd. That hurt.
Yeah, might have went off with his big toe on his left foot. We'll have to see. But that was that changeup. Moves down and in. Watch how that ball sinks down there. Yeah, it hit him off with his foot.
Everything Cobb throws biting down at the knees or below. Hung that one, and it's hit to right field, and that ball will drop fair. And Escobar will have himself a 1-out double.
17th double on the year. Escobar, a nice opposite field stroke on a ball that was elevated up in the zone, saying, take me that way, and he did. Nice piece of hit. Zobrist picked it up cleanly off the wall. Else Escobar might have had 3.
The Royals with 14 hits yesterday and 8 runs. They have 10 hits tonight and 6 runs. Alex Gordon has a couple of those hits and has scored a couple of times. Gordon now with 43 runs scored to lead the team.
And average is creeping up. He's seeing more pitches. See more pitches, you gain confidence.
Is the key against a guy like Cobb to think middle or opposite field?
Yeah, wait him out. Yeah, especially you think that way, but your swing's got to be that way. If you're thinking that way, then you try to pull him, you're going to roll over and hit a lot of ground balls. Hit balls squarely staying inside of it. Kevin Seitzer, he liked that swing there. He applauded Gordon on that last swing and miss. Seitzer been working overtime. Cage, and mainly with the delicate mental muscle of these young players. He works, there's a lot of mental coaching. Detox your mind. Eliminate the thinking. Just react. See the ball.
Gordon seeing it very well lately. He's been terrific since moving back to the #1 position in the batting order. An on-base percentage of 44. There's a slicer. That'll work. Escobar, though, did not read it as well as he should have and only makes it to third base.
Well, he wasn't sure. at the speed of Jennings in left field if he was going to get to it. So he slowed down once and then he kind of almost stopped. Played it safe with 1 out.
Third hit for Alex Gordon.
And a very nice approach, just like we were talking, staying inside the ball.
That's the one thing that really impressed us on Saturday's game, the Cardinals' approach against the Kansas City Royals with Luis Mendoza in the mound, a guy who throws a good sinking fastball. And they had so many base hits to either center field or, if they were a right-handed batter, to right field. Betancourt with a shot to left. This will score Escobar. He tags and comes home. Kansas City with a 7-0 lead. We haven't seen too many of these lately, huh?
No, and it's a welcome sight. Keep them coming. Don't stop there. A nice piece of hitting there. Looking for a ball up. Perfect swing. You see that foot? There's no need to leave early on that one. He had that east.
So Cobb, who is suffering his worst start of the year, he came in with a earned run average under 4. The Royals with the fortune of not having to face their 2 best in David Price and James Shields.
You saw the importance of the first inning run. Gordon getting on. Zobrist not making that play in right. They let Gordon's ball kind of fall in there. That kind of set the tone.
Now Mike Moustakas, who is 1 for 2 with a double, an RBI. He's also stolen a base. How about Kansas City in the clutch? 6 for 9 with runners in scoring position.
That's going to up that mark that came into this game at 248.
Moustakas with a high fly ball to right field. Zobrist will make the catch. But Kansas City gets one more in the 4th. They have upped their lead to 7-0. First home victories, first win at the K. Steve Physioc along with Rex Hudler. We're joined by Jeff Montgomery, all-time closer in Royals history. And what do you think of Hoach since he has gone back to the basics?
Well, I really like the fact that he's pitching to contact a lot. He's going to have to use this defense if he's going to be successful. We see him really gaining confidence in those core pitches like we talked about. Four-seamer, got the hook, through that changeup.
Here is Jose Molina really pulling off that last pitch.
And you know, Monty, with this lead he's got last inning, I saw him go with a little two-seamer and even a little cutter. So he might feel a little bit more comfortable now using those pitches at times.
He said he's going to keep those pitches in his back pocket and break him out when he needs them. And when you have an opportunity, a 7-run lead, refine them, work on them, make them better pitches.
But really, were the two-seam, the cutter and the slider, too close in the same velocity?
I think that was the objective, is to get him to have more separation in the velocity between those pitches so the hitters can't be looking hard.
Here's an example, 78-mile-an-hour curveball to a 92, 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
And if you have 3 quality pitches, you can survive in this game, and Luke certainly has 3 quality pitches. Sometimes I think he gets a little, he complicates things by getting too many pitches going.
Let's go back to that first inning with Luke Hochevar against Tampa Bay and getting out of a jam.
Well, he's got a couple guys on base, and after that happens, he kind of goes back to the basics. He gives up a base hit, a walk. Now, hey, pitch to contact, get that ground ball. You got a really good defense, put it to good use, and he did there.
Molina dropped a base hit to left field. Elliott Johnson, who singled his first time, is now the batter.
Well, one of the big keys for Hoch, too, is the fact that he's been able to stay out of the big inning. That hurt him earlier in the year. He had 4 big innings this season, which accounted for 22 of the 50 total runs. So that has been a big help.
And Rex, that has not just been early in the year here. That's been his entire career. He's been a guy that has not been able to stay away from those big innings. And the big reason, if you look at his batting average against with runners on base, .313 batters are hitting. Bases empty, .273. So big difference. He needs to find a way to be more effective when guys are on base to essentially stay out of those big innings.
Jeff, in between starts, how many starting pitchers spend time working from the stretch and from the full windup?
I started for a while, and I know the philosophy was try to split it 50-50 because every inning you're likely going to be pitching from the stretch at some point, unless you're some superhuman pitcher. So you have to find a way to be effective, have that confidence when you're pitching from the stretch.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed about Luke since spring training on watching him is before he even starts throwing on the mound, he throws in back of the mound and he lands his front foot, his top foot, his landing foot on the top of the back of the mound.
So on the upslope.
Right, it's on the upslope.
Flare to right field, that will drop for a hit, so 2 on, nobody out.
He does that, I'm sure, Monty, to just let himself make it a reminder to stay on top of everything.
That's right, you got to force yourself to be on top if you're throwing uphill. It's much easier. So then you get on the mound, you're throwing downhill, it makes your job a lot easier. So here we are, a couple guys on base. We'll see if Luke is going to live by what we've talked about.
I remember Greg Maddox said he spent 70 to 80% of his time in between starts from the stretch because he said that's when I had to make a quality pitch when runners were on base, so I wanted to work on that in my bullpen session.
I think pitching from the stretch should be a lot easier, a lot more compact, a lot less can go wrong with your mechanics.
Jennings goes out to the first pitch and lifts it foul out of play. Rays had a long afternoon yesterday. Day-night doubleheader in Philadelphia. They won both games. KC has jumped on the Rays early for 7 runs.
Rex, you talked about it earlier, the Royals getting an early lead, giving the pitchers a little flexibility and not having to work from behind and battle back from, trying to get your team back on top of the game. Makes any pitcher's job a lot easier when you do have a cushion or a lead to work from.
Yeah, constantly, starters have always been nail biting each one. Like with this inning here, first 2 guys get on, nobody out. I mean, you can relax a little bit. It's not like it's a game-changing situation. It's going to happen.
How about that? He followed up a great 78-mile-an-hour curveball with a fastball that had a lot of late life to it.
Yeah, really good to see that. And here's a pitch that, again, he's got that cushion, keep the ball down. A lot of good things happen. May have gotten a ground ball for a double play there. He'll take the strikeout.
Third strikeout for Luke. Now a dangerous batter in Carlos Pena, who has walked and flied out, but also a guy you can strike out. Carlos has struck out 90 times this year. Strike one.
With those core pitches, the fastball in the mid 90s, 93, 94, big curve, changeup. What's keeping Hoach from being the ace? He's got the makeup for an ace.
I think it's just establishing a consistent plan every time he goes out there and then executing the plan. We'll see it go from maybe 3 or 4 innings, and then the bottom drops out in that 5th inning. And it just, that's really been his MO over his career here, is finding a way to get through those innings when things don't go well.
And you saw it in the second half last year. Second half of the 2011 season, he won 6 games, had a 3.5 earned run average. That's solid. Got a strike across against Pena, so has the advantage at 1 and 2. But he really felt that the cutter was a significant pinch in the second half because he was able to jam left-handers.
Well, I like to cutter for guys like Bruce Chen, and especially the lefty, the crafty lefty guys. But when you're a guy that has Luke Hochevar stuff, you really don't need a cutter. Now it can be a bonus pitch. It's a pitch you can maybe pull out occasionally when you have you need a big out against a lefty, get it in on his hands. But I don't think it's a pitch that a guy that's got good stuff should rely on a lot.
You can see Salvi motioning with his glove, wanting that ball down, that breaking ball, hoping to get the double play and get them out of trouble here in the 5th inning.
Pena's hit into 4 double plays this year.
The way wasn't able to really do much the other way. He's thinking pull. Obviously, the way the defense is set up, he's a pull guy. Get him to turn over on one, you may get that double play.
Wow. Great fastball that started inside and then roared back over the inside corner of the plate.
Nice job right here by Luke. Like you said, see, ball starts as a ball but ends up in the strike zone.
That's a nice free and easy motion, and he looks confident. His body language looks good.
Well, see, Rex, that's an example of a good life on a 4-seam fastball. So he has the location factor with it, he has the velocity with it, and he has the movement. So you don't have to be a 2-seam guy to get that kind of life or that kind of movement all the time.
Jeff, I'm watching Salvi set up. You had a chance to work with a brilliant defensive catcher in Bob Boone. What's the importance of that, and how can they help out their pitcher?
Well, the way he sets up and frames everything is it instills confidence in you. I remember Mike McFarland, Brent Maine, Sal Fasano, other guys that I pitched to, that they just give you that level of confidence. Now Sal Perez, a big guy, big body back there, just very soft with his hands, and you can tell he's a catcher that gets excited behind the plate. He likes being back there, and he brings that out in his pitchers.
Do you think he stole this as a strike?
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah, he just held it right there, framed it up nicely. But Monty, you mentioned something that I really like to see in players: passion, enthusiasm, a love for being out there, actually having fun competing in the highest level there is in the world here in the big leagues.
Well, just Salvatore's 4th game with the team and 3rd game behind the plate since he's come back. But we saw that last year when he came up, and it was just a great attribute of his. And I'm sure that's why the pitchers, it seemed like they rose their game to his level.
Wanted it inside, got it inside perfectly after giving up a couple of hits. Hochevar strikes out Jennings, Pena, and Upton.
Go right after him.
July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 on Fox. And what do you say you vote for your favorite Royals? You guys can punch out the names like Billy Butler, Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon. He's really been picking it up. Play your part by going to Royals.com/vote to crown a Royal. It's a high throw, but Pena winds up back in the bag, and Billy Butler is the first out of inning number 5.
Fans got till Thursday to vote. Punch in your Royals.
So, Rex, are you seeing any letdown here from the Tampa Bay Rays from their day-night doubleheader sweep yesterday?
Yes, Monty. I saw it in the first inning. I saw a little bit of a maybe slow to react on Gordon's ball. Of course, the wind was blowing in strong from right field. I think Upton thought it was going to be to the gap, and it ended up plugging right there in between both Zobrist and Upton. And then Zobrist kind of misplayed that ball. Moustakas is over his head. And right there just told me, you know, maybe they're struggling a little.
Brooks Conrad, that's a great play.
I'll say it was the fact that he got up so quickly and threw a dart across the diamond. I wasn't sure how he was going to recover from this. He landed a little bit awkwardly, but didn't have any problem finding the grip and got it over there with no problem.
Fans so used to seeing that, they almost started saying moose.
They did.
Here is Eric Hosmer. 1 for 2 with an RBI in this game and a run scored. Part of that 5-run third inning. First pitch is a breaking ball that misses. But the one thing I am encouraged by, despite a 3-game sweep by the St. Louis Cardinals of the Royals, they came in early. They worked hard. Hosmer yesterday was not in the starting lineup, but very early with Kevin Seitzer yesterday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, working with Kevin Seitzer today. This guy wants to get better, but we have to remember he has never failed at anything, and the big leagues can be very humbling.
Very huge adjustment. We saw Mike Moustakas go through that last year upon his arrival. Really struggled, but he eventually got through it.
Oh.
Well, after a great play, Conrad throws a bit high. He needed to dive.
Well, because of the miscues of the Rays this season, that's added a lot of extra unearned runs, a lot of extra pitches thrown by pitchers. That's what that does when your team makes a lot of errors. Puts a little bit of stress on arms.
You know, maybe just another sign that these guys are a little flat after their late arrival into Kansas City. I think they got in around 2 o'clock last night, in the middle of the night.
Hosmer on for the second time. Salvi Perez will get an opportunity to hit in this 5th inning. He singled, drove in a run, and then was erased on a run down between first and second base for the final out of the 3rd. Strike 1. He came up last year and was absolutely sensational, hitting .331 with 3 home runs, 21 RBIs, and brilliant defensively. Ned Yost, who came up a catcher, really appreciates good catching and also the discipline it takes to be a premier catcher. He said this young man had not only the passion, but the discipline to come early and watch scouting reports and videotape and prepare himself to be a premier catcher in this game.
See, Ned wanted him a couple of years ago when he needed a catcher, I believe when Jason Kendall went down, but the organization wanted to let him develop more as a hitter, and certainly that happened. He came up last year, hit the ball well above the expectations, and he's looking early on here in these first few games. He's going to carry it into this season.
Yeah, but to hear Ned Yost rave about Salvi in spring training, he's never seen a catching prospect like him. You know, that's something special. You're not going to have a manager go way overboard on a guy if it's not the truth. And so no one's happier to have him back than Ned.
And Ned is reserved on his superlatives. And you can't reach that one. Salvi with another chance at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Heads up in that dugout on incoming fly balls. I've seen guys try to concentrate on helping the fielder and get doinked right in the head on those. Pena had his glove. He's ready to go.
Tried to check his swing, but he went. Perez is out. So are the Royals. Kansas City heads to the 6th inning, though, leading 7-0 over Tampa Bay.
Had incredible success with the Tampa Bay Rays, not just with the hitting, but developing pitchers. I asked him the key to developing young pitchers.
I think a lot of it, okay, from a physical perspective, that he can throw strikes with his fastball. Beyond that, how well he handles adversity and the bad moment. And that's a big part of why our guys have been good. They've been strike throwers with their fastball. And beyond that, when they've had bad moments, they don't cower away from it. They don't doesn't impact them for a long time. And then the last point, I think, and I guess you could get a good argument here, pitching well in our division really makes it get a little bit tougher a little bit sooner. I mean, our guys, you got to throw strikes. You got to throw strikes. You got to get swings and misses in the strike zone in our division, and our guys have to learn that fast.
Well, his pitcher is struggling tonight, but generally they do extremely well. And guys, I'll ask you this. I'll throw you these names out there and ask you what they have in common other than playing for the Rays. James Shields, Matt Moore, Jeremy Hellickson, Wade Davis, Jeff Neiman, David Price, Alex Cobb. What do you think?
I think they were all drafted early because Tampa Bay was a very poor team in the last decade before Joe Madden. Then all of a sudden they made great decisions on those first-round picks. I mean, David Price, everybody wanted. James Shields, outstanding starting pitcher, and that's what Kansas City has been doing under Dayton Moore. I believe they've gone away from signability and gone after excellence. Kyle Zimmer was one of the top 3 college pitchers in baseball, one of the top 3 pitching prospects. The Royals got him, and they signed him early, and he might have the best stuff of anybody in the Royal system, and he hasn't even pitched in a game yet.
And the key, Steve, it takes time, and you're mostly right. They're all every one of those guys, a couple who are on the DL right now, are all former Rays draft picks, ranging from 2000 James Shields all the way through 2007, and some were in the first round, like Neiman and Price. Others, like James Shields, 16th round, Matt Moore, 8th round. So they've had success up and down throughout, but those are all their pitchers.
Hochevar, meantime, gets his 6th strikeout of the game.
Tell you, though, I like the movement on his four-seamer. Look at this. That's some good action. Starts in, it froze the hitter Zobrist.
You also have to be fortunate, and Tampa Bay was fortunate. James Shields, one of their top starters, was just a 16th round pick in 2000, but they allowed him to grow in their minor league system, and he spent, Rex, 6 years in the minor leagues before finally breaking out in 2006 with the Rays. And
right.
He had an ERA that was close to 5 his first year.
Getting back to Joel's comment on they were being patient with him. You just don't rush them because they have a great ceiling and a great future.
And I think that's what this organization is trying to do with Jake Odorizzi and also Mike Montgomery.
We very well could see those guys before the end of the year.
Exactly.
But they just need a little bit more seasoning, some more confidence. I mean, Joe Madden, look at that.
Wow, he is looking outstanding. Ever since he went back to the basics, Luke Hochevar has been outstanding. .com at Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Royals.com for details. By the way, fans, the 6th is our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Kelly Dillon from Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Kelly will win $1,000. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Kelly will win $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Rod Dyson to lead it off. This is one of those games, take one for the team by Alex Cobb as he's now working in the 6th inning.
Now, Cobb wasn't a part of that day-night doubleheader up in Philly. They flew him here. He got here in a nice hour last night.
A lot of times pitchers will be out after giving up 7 runs. But they're also working with a depleted staff because of Joel Peralta is being suspended. They're playing with 24. Dyson is out at first base. Let's go to our AT&T trivia question. Who are the only 3 Royals third basemen to be American League All-Star selections? I believe one is extremely easy to guess. went a few times.
Yep, I think that's a shoe, and I can even get that one.
Here is Escobar, who is 2 for 2, raising that batting average now to .304. KC with 14 hits yesterday, 11 in this game, and there's the 3rd hit of the day for Escobar.
A big curveball that hung. Started up around his shoulders and ends up right at the belt. Good swing, good balance, stayed on top of the ball.
How about a 4-hit game for Alex Gordon? He has 3 hits in this one, a double and a pair of singles. Before the season, he had 4 hits in a game 7 times.
Is June 12th the last time that Gordon's hit a homer off of Zach Greinke?
He's only hit 1 home run since the end of April. That was to lead that game off against the Milwaukee Brewers when he blasted one deep to right center field. Kansas City would win that game, sweep the Brewers. And that's what Ned Yost pointed out as being encouraging. Ground ball to first. They get the double play. Royals get a base hit but do not score in the 6th. And in Brookside now. Visit us at PaneraKansas.com and buy AT&T Uverse, the new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. Luke Hochevar has had 3 straight excellent starts against Milwaukee, against Houston, and now against Tampa Bay. He works into the 7th inning. He threw 7 2/3 innings of shutout baseball against the Astros in his last start. And now he has gone 6 shutout innings in this start, and he has struck out 5 of the last 6 Rays that he has faced. Rodriguez takes a strike.
Nope, excellent rhythm and good command of his pitches.
How about that? A 2-1 changeup for a strike. Surprised Sean Rodriguez.
Well, Dave's not surprised at what Luke can do, because he's helped him a lot.
And then on 2-2, Rodriguez ropes a base hit to center field. Let's go to our AT&T trivia question. It was about third baseman that Kansas City has had and gone to the All-Star game with Mike Moustakas. We encourage you to vote for him this year. Who are the only 3 Royals third basemen to be American League All-Star selections?
I'm saying Dean Palmer and Seitzer are the others.
You are correct, sir.
Ding, 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 ding.
George Brett went numerous times. Seitzer and Palmer. This could be 2, a 4, a 6, and a nice pickup by Hosmer. Double play.
Escobar might have forgot who was running, but tried a little Ozzie Smith type double play, and Hosmer saved it. I mean, that's talk about a long pick. That's what you mean when Hosmer's not hitting. He's winning games with his glove. Look at that. That's just amazing. Now, actually, Escobar could have gotten out of the way of the runner and then set his feet and just thrown it to him and had him with no problem. And Hosmer stays low. See how he starts low? You start low and you go high. If you start high and the ball stays down low, it's harder to go down.
But Alcides, in his defense, he's saying, Eric, if I don't throw the ball in the dirt, you don't make that great play. He is an excellent first baseman, and here is Luke Hochevar with 2 out, nobody on. Jose not actually burning it up down that line. Escobar cuts it off. Hochevar, 7 shutout innings. In the 4th, Yuniesky Betancourt has been a major contributor as he has knocked in 3 runs. Now has 20 on the season. Single to drive in 2 in the 3rd. That made it 3-0, and then a sacrifice fly in inning number 4. Betancourt, Moustakas, and Butler here in the 7th. As Luke Hochevar with another terrific start. Way to rest that weary bullpen.
And And also Cobb, you know, you mentioned it's not his best start, but he's eating up some innings and helping.
Yes, he is.
And helping Joe Madden in that depleted pen. Coming in to this game for the Rays, if Madden needed him, he has Rodney the closer, J.P. Howell, and Jacob McGee. He had 3 guys, maybe Burke, Badenhop. But Wade Davis, Cesar Ramos, Brandon Gomes, some of those guys have a little bit taxed.
That breaking ball misses way up high, but Cobb his family is used to coming back from greater difficulties than this. And Alex so proud of his older brother RJ, who was a captain in the Army and was awarded the Purple Heart after his Humvee was blown up in Iraq. His brother made a full recovery. Right now is stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and he is mighty proud of his brother. It's a nice running catch by Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, it sure was. With that wind pushing in from right field, that made it even more difficult for Zobrist. He had to come a long way, and that ball, when it's not hit too hard, can be pushed by the wind. I'm saying thanks. Appreciate it.
One out for Moustakas, who is 1 for 3 in the game. Double to right back in the first, drove in his 37th run of the season, then stole third base, was left stranded. He has flied out in his last 2 at bats. A strike, and it's 1-1. Cobb's got to be tough to lift. He's allowed just 2 home runs this year, nearly 45 innings.
Yeah, you know, you can catch a hanging curve. He's thrown a few that were up in the zone. May not be his best start of the year, but when he's on, everything's down.
Moustakas has put together some quality at bats this year at the young age of 23. I thought his first at bat yesterday, Rex, was terrific with about 8, 9 pitches. He hit 1 home run that went fouled off a couple more, and got one he liked. Really belted it. That one's a fair ball. Covering is Cobb, and Moustakas is out number 2. Fans, we want you to bring the entire family to Major League Baseball All-Star Fan Fest from July 6th through the 10th at Kansas City Convention Center, Bartle Hall. Major League Baseball All-Star Fan Fest is an interactive baseball theme park and the largest baseball fan event in the world. Get free autographs from baseball legends and members of the Hall of Fame and much more. To guarantee your preferred date and time slot, buy tickets now at allstargame.com. All attractions are included with the price of admission. 2 outs, nobody on, 7-0 Kansas City. Cobb now facing Billy Butler. Young man has gone over 100 pitches in this game. Speared by Johnson, who throws out Billy Butler. The inning is over, and Alex Cobb goes 7, but gives up 7.
as Panera takes us around the league. The rare chance to root for New York. We don't do it very often, but they beat up on Cleveland. That is good news. Josh Tomlin roughed up in that game. Colby Rasmus stays hot. Game is delayed, but Toronto on top of Boston. Detroit all over Texas behind Miguel Cabrera. Kevin Youkilis makes his debut with the White Sox after yesterday's trade that sent him from Boston over to the White Sox. Over 3 so far, batting in the 2-hole for Robin Ventura's White Sox.
And Joel, with Chicago losing, if they continue to fall in that game, Kansas City could move to within 5 games of first place in the American League Central and still be 7 under 500. The start by Luke Hochevar certainly is encouraging as he entered Kauffman Stadium today with a record of 0-4 at home with an ERA and unsightly 8.59. Betancourt is able to get to this one, and there's 1 out.
Just good to see Luke pitch with confidence and be the guy that they want him to be in the way he was the second half of last season, finishing strong.
An opportunity to rest a very weary bullpen as the 3 starting pitchers against the St. Louis Cardinals only went 11 1/3 innings. Francisco Bueno is beginning to warm up down in the Kansas City bullpen. But the main guys like Broxton and Holland and Collins, Herrera and Crow, have not had to go tonight.
Who's up in the Kansas City bullpen?
Jose Mijares has been able to stay quiet down in that pen. Hosmer takes care of it. He has defended well tonight.
That's routine play for him. Anything near him, he's going to catch it. Just has a very nice disposition, graceful, soft hands. He's going to win a Gold Glove. He might win a bunch of them too by the time he's done.
Patience, young Jedi warrior. Here is B.J. Upton for the Tampa Bay Rays. Ground ball short. Escobar has to be quick. And Luke Hochevar with a fantastic 8 innings of work.
Yes. Love everything we're seeing tonight. Excellent game.
game summary. Key hits in the clutch for the Royals, 6 for 9 with men in scoring position. Gordon and Escobar each with 3 hits, and Hochevar no runs allowed in his last 15 2/3 innings against the Astros and Rays.
I like 6 for 9 with runners in scoring position. You got to get him a lead.
I still think it all started back in Pittsburgh. Even though he gave up 4 runs in the first 3 innings against Pittsburgh, he really pitched well the last 3 innings, 4, 5, and 6. Frenchie the batter to open the 8th. He's 1 for 3, should be 2 for 3. He's robbed of a hit on a great defensive play by Brooks Conrad back in the 5th. I love the look of Jeff Francoeur. It almost looks like he has that Cheshire cat grin glued to his face. So he stares out at the pitcher. He's constantly in a good mood.
I'm not familiar with a Cheshire cat. How do you say that?
Cheshire cat.
Cheshire. He got a nice smile. I don't know about a cat. I've never seen it.
Right there.
Yeah. And now that's just natural for him.
It is.
Yeah. Isn't that cat from Alice in Wonderland?
You bet. Well, Cobb delivered the pitch, then spun around on the pitcher's mound. Now this is a move you would see in Dancing with the Stars. Alex Cobb's last pitch. Conrad's been a bad man to hit it to for Frenchie. Let's check out our AT&T U-verse reverse replay.
Hochevar's pitching like an ace. Good hard riding fastball. Using it. Good movement on it too. He's got it working. Above average pitch. His changeup. He's used his curveball effectively. He's gone right after these Rays. I'll tell you, the Rays, even if they were fresh just playing one game yesterday, they would have had a really hard time with him.
Hosmer with a drive. Left center field and gone.
That's why he works extra. That's why he was out here way before the game started, taking extra batting practice, hitting the ball exactly where he hit that last one. Welcome back. Boy, that's a nice stroke. Look, a little toe tap, barely even lifted his foot. Keeping his weight back, trusting his hands, and seeing the ball and hit opposite field shot.
9th home run for Hosmer. Salvi grounds out, so 2 gone here in the 8th inning as Kansas City has now opened up an 8-0 lead on Tampa Bay. So that's back-to-back games. They've scored 8 runs, and that's a good sign because we really felt the offense had to pick up. They were averaging only 3.3 runs per game the entire month of June in 20 games before Sunday. But now 16 runs on 27 hits in 2 games. .404 feet on Hosmer's big fly. Dyson sends one to left. Inning is over. We head to the 9th. It's all Kansas City as Eric Hosmer busts one out to the opposite field.
There's his soft hands, and not with a glove in it, with the bat. Excellent stroke.
Stadium. Luke Hochevar back on the field, and we'll be talking plenty about him on Boulevard Royals Live. Jeff Montgomery and myself out at Rivals. We'll hear Ned Yost's reaction. And we ask you this, our Sprint You Call. Who is tonight's player of the game? Alex Gordon, Udinese Betancourt, Alcides Escobar, Luke Hochevar. Text 432-432 and enter keyword Royals. Guys?
Field, but Frenchie's right there to keep Luke Hochevar's shutout intact.
Ooh, and there was some people holding their breath here at the K, and what a nice cheer we heard when Frenchie ran it down. Now the wind helped hold that in a little bit. Blowing hard from right field. Frenchie never gave up on it, and a nice roar of the Kauffman crowd here to try to help Hochevar hang on.
Well, there's the Cheshire cat grin I was talking about.
Coach is pulling it back. Yeah.
Luke's last career complete game was May 20th, 2010 at Cleveland in a 9-3 win over Mitch Talbot. His only career shutout was a year before that, September 18th, 2009 at Chicago against the White Sox. That was in an 11-0 triumph when Mark Burley was pitching opposite him. Going for number 2. Tough out, and Ben Zobrist hits one sharply to Mike Moustakas, who throws him out. 2 down in the 9th inning. As promised earlier, it's Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. How about a cold one for Luke Hochevar and for this team?
I'm telling you, they got out early. They looked like they were really wanting to pay back the next opponent after getting swept over the weekend. Welcome back to the American League in nice fashion. 13 hits, 8 runs. Everybody pitching in. Fans on their feet right here for Hochevar.
Brooks Conrad, the batter, and he goes after the first pitch, strike 1. Crowd on their feet, hoping to see Luke with his first shutout of 2012. Strike 2.
How about the first complete game of the year by a Royal starter? Shocked the house. It's a beautiful thing. Maybe we'll see more of this.
Great fastball, still has a lot in his tank here in the 9th inning. After 100 pitches, he just delivered one at 95 up and in to Conrad.
This crowd's working him a little.
Ooh, didn't miss by much. Hochevar thought it was strike 3. Luke Hochevar with the shutout. The force was with him tonight. Salvy's just as happy as Mr. Hochevar. Moustakas with another RBI. Betancourt knocked in 3 3-hit games by Gordon and by Escobar. And a smile from Kevin Seitzer and Ned Yost. And it's rather important, Rex, the way they bounced back after being swept by the St. Louis Cardinals. Luke Hochevar gave them everything he had and rested a weary bullpen.
Hey, this team is resilient. They don't get down. They attack and they try to stay in every game.